It's the BJP's big temple push, this time in Mathura. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath on Wednesday said, like a grand temple, a Divya Bhavya Ram Mandir is being constructed at Ayodhya, and that there is the Kashi corridor at Varanasi, the city of Mathura and the city of Vrindavan. Both Mathura and Vrindavan in western Uttar Pradesh will also see the construction of a grand temple complex where Yogeshwar Sri Krishna was born. He said development activities are already underway. Our Uttar Pradesh Bureau brings you our top story. अयोध्या तो झांकी है, Kashi Mathura baki hai. The old war cry, popular with several saffron organizations, is gaining pitch once again ahead of assembly elections in Uttar Pradesh. With the construction of a grand temple at Ayodhya and the inauguration of the Kashi Vishwanath corridor in Varanasi, the BJP's focus now is on Mathura, where the Mughal era Shahi Eidgah Mosque adjoins the Sri Krishna temple. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has assured that Mathura and Vrindavan, the iconic birthplace of Yogeshwar Sri Krishna, will not be left behind.
काशी में भगवान विश्वनाथ का धाम भी भव्य रूप से बन रहा है और फिर मथुरा वृंदावन कैसे छूट जाएगा। वहां पर भी काम भव्यता के साथ आगे बढ़ चुका है। हमने ब्रज तीर्थ विकास परिषद गठित करके वहां पर भी विकास कार्यों को एक नई गति देनी प्रारंभ कर दी है।
Earlier, Uttar Pradesh Deputy Chief Minister Keshav Prasad Maurya had also said that preparations were underway to build a grand temple at Mathura.
मथुरा में श्री कृष्ण की जन्मभूमि पर भव्य मंदिर बने, यह हर श्री कृष्ण जी के भक्त की इच्छा है, आकांक्षा है। मैं भी उस भाव को ही प्रकट किया हूं।
The opposition has attacked Yogi Adityanath for politicizing the Mathura temple issue.
महंगाई बेरोजगारी से लोग आत्महत्या कर रहे हैं, लेकिन भारतीय जनता पार्टी जात धर्म की राजनीति को बढ़ावा दे रही है। लेकिन उत्तर प्रदेश की जनता जानती है कि धर्म हमारा आस्था का विषय है, राजनीतिक विषय नहीं है। 2022 में यही उत्तर प्रदेश की जनता भारतीय जनता पार्टी को वोट के माध्यम से सत्ता से बाहर का रास्ता दिखा देगी।
किसान मजदूर की बात से भटक के वो धर्म की राजनीति में उत्तर प्रदेश को लाना चाहते हैं। देखते जाइए, मठ में जाने का समय आ गया है। अब जाएंगे मठ में, इसके अलावा तो इनके पास कोई रास्ता है नहीं।
The BJP has hit back, saying that Mathura temple is not a political issue but a matter of faith.
ये समाजवादी पार्टी की सरकार नहीं है, आदरणीय योगी जी के नेतृत्व की भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार है। धर्मांत मंत्रालय खाली कब्रिस्तान बनाने के लिए नहीं होता है, ये मंदिर और उसके उत्थान के लिए भी होता है। तो धर्मार्थ मंत्रालय हमारा इसी काम के लिए होता है।
CM Yogi Adityanath's statement over Mathura and Vrindavan development has once again ignited the Mandir politics in Uttar Pradesh. It looks like that the BJP is all set to get into Mathura after Ayodhya. On the other hand, the opposition is also raising questions, but for the BJP, it's all about the Mandir. After Ayodhya, then Kashi, and finally Mathura. In Lucknow with cameraman Sanjay Singh, Abhishek Mishra for India Today.
So political analysts say there are many reasons why the BJP is betting big on a grand Sri Krishna temple at Mathura. The first reason, recover from poor local body poll performance. And the BJP has learnt its lessons. They do know that there is some kind of a backlash that's visible on ground. That brings us to a second reason, offset any backlash over farm laws in western Uttar Pradesh. And that was the BJP's Achilles heel at one point of time. Of course, this was before the Prime Minister apologized and withdrew the 3 farm laws. Reason 3, put the focus very directly on BJP's Hindu agenda. They're focusing very big on Hindu and Hindutva. Reason 4, break or at least seek to break the Samajwadi Party's Yadav vote bank. Also, now that the Jats with the RLD are coming in some ways, at least that is what the perception is, that if the Jats, the Yadavs and the Muslims, they come together, then the BJP could face trouble in western Uttar Pradesh. The aim is, with the temple push, make sure that the opposition advantage is neutralized. Let's now take some of the bigger questions that we're asking here on 5 Live. Is Mathura then going to be the new flashpoint in political Pradesh ahead of elections? Can Mathura prove to be BJP's trump card for Western UP in 2022? Mathura and Vrindavan, a grand temple for Yogeshwar Sri Krishna. Will it dominate not just 2022 in Western Uttar Pradesh, but across the state? The poll agenda ahead of 2024 Lok Sabha elections. Is that what this build-up, this very gradual build-up, is that what it's leading to? The BJP's fiercest push yet to consolidate the Hindu votes. Remember, Uttar Pradesh extremely crucial to the BJP's dream of 2022 and of course 2024 Lok Sabha elections. I quickly want to cut across to India Today's Abhishek Mishra, who joins us live from Unnao in Uttar Pradesh. Abhishek, first it was Keshav Prasad Maurya, the Deputy Chief Minister, then the Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath himself, and we've seen several BJP leaders talk about first Kashi, Ayodhya and now Mathura. Bring us details of the BJP strategy.
Well, absolutely, Gaurav, and with this particular statement, it was all Ayodhya, 2017. We have seen how this whole issue has played in the favor of the BJP, and the momentum which built at the last moment clearly gave the mandate in their favor. But this time, it all began with Deputy Chief Minister Keshav Prasad Maurya talking about the grand temple of Krishna in Mathura, and one by one other leaders were also speaking about it. But when CM Yogi Adityanath spoke about it in Amroha and Farrukhabad, it is very clear that this is the priority of the government, and they are going to make it sure that it is as grand as Ayodhya and be at the Kashi corridor, which was recently inaugurated by PM Modi. It looks like that BJP is back on the core issue of Hindutva, and the temple politics is continuing with Uttar Pradesh. The strategy is to unite all the community, specifically Hindu community, all together, because it looks like that for the upcoming elections as well is going to play in their favor, with the fact how a Mandir card has always worked for them, and this time it's
interesting.
Not Ayodhya.
Keep tracking developments on the story, Abhishek. I will come back to you for more on the story. From Mathura, let me now take you to Ayodhya. Even before the construction of a Divya Bhavya Ram temple at Ayodhya, the Indian Railways is creating a mini replica of the Ram temple in the form of a revamped Ayodhya railway station junction. Development work in this part of Uttar Pradesh, especially as elections gather steam, is on in full swing. India Today's Milan Sharma is on ground zero. She gets us this report.
Ayodhya, the birthplace of Lord Ram. The holy city. It's now buzzing with activity. Infrastructure projects are picking up speed. As the construction of Ram Mandir continues, development is not far behind.
The sounds of machines and construction equipment at the Ram Janmabhoomi herald the fact that work for the construction of Ram Temple is happening at warp speed. But at the same time, the Indian government is also revamping a railway station right next to it, because they expect at least 1 lakh devotees to come here to pray to Lord Ram at the new temple when it will be constructed. It's going to be a big magnum opus for the Uttar Pradesh government when the Ram temple will be made.
The Ayodhya railway station will be the focal point of the city. The station will be a mini replica of the Ram temple.
इसमें जो आउटसाइड में आप पत्थर देख रहे हैं, ये बंसी पहाड़पुर पत्थर लग रहा है, जो राम मंदिर में यूज होगा, उसी क्वेरी से लग रहा है, राजस्थान से पत्थर आया। और अंदर फैसिलिटीज के लिए हम लोग अगर इसमें बात करें तो इसमें हम 6 लिफ्टें दे रहे हैं, 4 एक्सेलेटर्स दे रहे हैं। इसमें फूड प्लाजा हैं, एक ग्राउंड फ्लोर पर है, एक फर्स्ट फ्लोर पर है। और इसमें एयरपोर्ट के में जैसे शॉप्स देते हैं, अगर कोई पैसेंजर आएगा तो उसको कोई अगर पूजा की सामग्री है यहाँ भी मिल सकता है, तो ऐसे शॉप्स भी प्रोवाइड कर रहे हैं।
The station is spread over 1 lakh square feet and will have cloakrooms and retiring rooms. It will also have shops that will cater specifically to devotees. There will be 2 foot-over bridges and an escalator for smooth movement. Another entry point to the station is being made by acquiring 15.96 hectares of land. The cost of the project is estimated to be around 126 crore rupees.
Total land that we have proposed for acquisition is 15.96 hectare, and it consists of private land as well as nuzul land.
Is that going to be a challenge, because usually land acquisitions have been known to delay many crucial projects in the country?
Recently, you must have observed that the land acquisition has been very smooth because the rate of land has been very reasonable. So I don't think there will be any problem.
Presently, the old Faizabad station is the only one connected to express trains, few of which come to Ayodhya Junction. Devotees and locals are thrilled with the redevelopment.
स्टेशन बहुत अच्छा बना, व्यवस्था बहुत अच्छा हुआ, ये सब बहुत अच्छी बात है यहाँ के लिए, विकास के लिए।
पहले से बहुत ज्यादा विकास हो गया है और यहाँ की स्वर्णिम छटा बहुत अच्छी लग रही है। ऐसा लग रहा है कि फिर से सतयुग की वापसी हो रही है और पूरा राम राज्य फिर से स्थापित हो रहा है। हम लोग बहुत खुश हैं।
निश्चित रूप से जो हमारे राम जन्मभूमि रामलला का निर्माण हो रहा है, काफी लंबे समय से हिंदुओं में एक इच्छा थी, हम नारे लगाते थे, भगवान श्री राम की सौगंध खाते हैं, मंदिर बनाएंगे, लेकिन अब वो सपना अपना पूरा होने जा रहा है।
The construction of the temple and the development here has been marred by politics, the latest being allegations of irregularities in acquiring land.
विपक्ष जो है वो झूठ बोलती है, वो विपक्ष काली रोना रो रही है, रुदन कर रही है, क्योंकि उसके पास कुछ है नहीं बोलने के लिए, इसलिए कोई ना कोई आरोप प्रत्यारोप वो लगाती रहती है। तो उसके आरोप प्रत्यारोप से हमारे ऊपर कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ने वाला।
यूपी में चुनाव भी हैं, विपक्षी पार्टियां इस पर राजनीति भी खेल रही हैं, कह रही हैं कि राम मंदिर का चंदा चुराया गया या फिर जमीन पर वो हुआ।
प्रभु देख रहे हैं सब।
The first phase of Ayodhya railway station is expected to be completed by March 2022.
Well, the Yogi government may say that they are not looking to do vote bank politics and are only looking to redevelop holy cities like Ayodhya, but definitely with the redevelopment of the railway station in Ayodhya as well as the construction of the Ram temple, it will surely translate to votes in the upcoming Uttar Pradesh elections. And we'll have to wait and see how much that is going to benefit the Yogi government and the party that is once again waiting to clinch a victory in the state elections. With Pavan Kumar from Ayodhya, this is Milan Sharma for India Today.
Shifting focus to the other big story, Kalicharan Maharaj, the seer who abused Mahatma Gandhi days ago at a Dharm Sansad at Raipur in Chhattisgarh, was finally arrested early this morning by the Chhattisgarh police and charged with sedition. But what took center stage was the tussle between two states, Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh. The Madhya Pradesh government claimed that Chhattisgarh police did not either inform them or seek their permission to enter Madhya Pradesh, arrest the seer and move away.
वो मोहनदास करमचंद गांधी ने सत्यानाश पेल दिया। वो नाथुराम गोडसे जी को नमस्कार है, मार डाला
He resorted to a vile rant against Mahatma Gandhi and hailed murderer Nathuram Godse. And now he's finally languishing in jail for his abusive comments. This is the moment Kali Charan Maharaj, the man who spewed hate at the Raipur Dharam Sansad, was arrested by the Chhattisgarh police. He was in hiding for the last 4 days and was finally nabbed by cops on Thursday morning. Kali Charan was being shielded by a bunch of his aides, and that's how he managed to evade arrest for days. But there's now a face-off that's broken out over where Kali Charan Maharaj was arrested. The Raipur police entered into Madhya Pradesh and arrested the seer from Khajuraho. And the MP government is claiming that permission wasn't sought from the authorities.
आपत्तिजनक तरीका है, ये तरीका ठीक नहीं, ये संघी मर्यादा का भी उल्लंघन है। ऐसा नहीं करना चाहिए था, पहले बता देते, पहले भी बता सकते तो गिरफ्तारी के बाद बता देते। अब तो कल को कोई भी पुलिस का नाम लेके किसी आश्रम में या किसी के घर में घुसेगा और पकड़ लेगा, तो ये एक नई लॉ एंड ऑर्डर की स्थिति बन जाएगी।
नियम की बात है, नियम के पालन किया जा रहा है, उसमें कोई कमी नहीं होने दी जाएगी। सवाल यही है कि जब गांधी को गाली दी गई तब भी ये चुप थे, अब गिरफ्तारी हुई तब अचानक ये प्रकट हुए और प्रक्रिया पे सवाल उठाए। अभी भी काली चरण की निंदा भारतीय जनता पार्टी के नेताओं ने नहीं की, इनके तो मुंह में राम बगल में छुरी।
This issue has now become a political flashpoint between a BJP-ruled state and a Congress-ruled state over jurisdiction. But the Chhattisgarh police has maintained that all due protocol was followed.
मध्य प्रदेश, महाराष्ट्र, दिल्ली और अन्य जगहों में हमारी टीम रवाना हुई थी और इसमें मध्य प्रदेश की टीम को इसमें सफलता मिली है और काली चरण को खजुराहो के पास बागेश्वर धाम से गिरफ्तार किया गया है और गिरफ्तार करके रायपुर पुलिस की टीम उसको रायपुर लेकर आ रही है और यहाँ के विधिवत ढंग से न्यायालय में प्रस्तुत किया जाएगा। रायपुर पुलिस के द्वारा विधिवत कार्रवाई की गई है, किसी भी तरीके से कोई ऐसा वायलेशन नहीं किया गया। क्या
Kali Charan's arrest has come as a big breakthrough. The seer, who's been booked for sedition, despite widespread outrage, refused to apologize for abusing the father of the nation.
गांधी के मामले में अपशब्द बोलने के लिए मुझ पर FIR दर्ज हुई, मुझे उसका कोई पश्चाताप नहीं है। गांधी ने किया क्या है हिंदुओं के लिए? विश्वासघात किया है देश का। सुखदेव, राजगुरु भगत सिंह जी की फांसी गांधी रुकवा सकते थे, लेकिन नहीं रुकवाई जानबूझ के। इसलिए तिरस्कार करता हूं मैं गांधी का, नफरत करता हूं मैं गांधी से।
The man who abused Gandhi, hailed Godse and even spread hate against minorities is now under arrest. A case that surely sets a precedent that hate speeches will not be tolerated. But what's grabbed the limelight now is a fight between two states over the way his arrest took place. Bureau Report, India Today.
And from Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh, let me quickly take you to Karnataka, where the government has announced that it will make Hindu temples independent of state control. The Basavaraj Bommai government hopes to pass the bill to free Hindu religious institutions in Karnataka before the next budget session. Now, if passed, this law will allow temples in the state to manage their own affairs and development and funds. Karthik brings us this big report from Bengaluru.
Just days after the Karnataka government passed the controversial anti-conversion bill, the Saffron Party has now announced its next mission: to free temples from the government's grip. Speaking at the state's BJP Executive Committee meeting in Hubli, Chief Minister Basavaraj Bommai said that temples have suffered in the hands of bureaucrats and will be freed by the government. He further said that a new law will be introduced in the budget session of Assembly for temple managements to look after their own development.
ದೇವಸ್ಥಾನಗಳ ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿಗೆ ಈ ಅಧಿಕಾರಶಾಹಿ ಅಡಚಣೆ ಆಗಬಾರದು. ದೇವಸ್ಥಾನದ ದುಡ್ಡನ್ನು ಪಡಿಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಯಾರ್ಯಾರೋ ಅಧಿಕಾರಿಗಳ ಹತ್ರ ಹೋಗಬೇಕು, ಅವರು ವರ್ಷಾನುಗಟ್ಟಲೆ ಹಿಂಸೆ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಇದರಿಂದ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಿರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಹುಂಡಿ ಮತ್ತು ಕಾಣಿಕೆ ಹಣ ಅದರ ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿಗೆ ವಿನಿಯೋಗ ಆದರೆ ಇನ್ನಷ್ಟು ದೇವಸ್ಥಾನಗಳನ್ನು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ.
The Bommai government is counting on getting this bill passed as soon as possible. It is now pending before the Legislative Council. The Free Temple movement has been a widely debated issue in neighbouring Tamil Nadu. And the BJP is now upping the ante for a similar legislation there as well.
Why the temples should be controlled single-handedly. So it's a very nice idea and a thought which has been brought in by the Honorable CM here in Karnataka to free all the temples. This is a talk which also happened in Tamil Nadu. We have to wait and watch because these were the issues which were discussed with our Chief Minister in Tamil Nadu, Mr. M.K. Stalin, and we have to wait and watch whether he is going to fulfill these promises which were made during the election.
The campaign to free Hindu temples from the political and bureaucratic clutches of the Department of Hindu and Religious Endowment is by no means a new one. Uttarakhand this year had also ensured its temples were freed from government clutches. Several right-wing Hindu outfits like the Vishwa Hindu Parishad have also appealed to the union government to bring in a law to free temples and religious institutions from the control of the government. With Karthik in Bengaluru, Bureau Report, India Today.
And India Today's Karthik now joins me from Bengaluru for more on this story. Karthik, bring us through the arguments for and against this bill. Now, the government wants, or at least they're saying they want to free temples from government control. Is the opposition on board? Are people objecting to this, and if so, why?
Well, Gaurav, today India Today spoke to Mr. D.K. Shivakumar, the KPCC president, and he said that the party is opposing this move. And Mr. D.K. Shivakumar said that this is a big blunder that the government is heading towards. And he said that the temples generate crores of rupees of revenue each year, and they are also the government's property. And he said that the government should not go forward and do this. And he says that if the temples are let off the clutches of the Muzerai department, they could go into the hands of private trusts and devotees, and sometimes there's a possibility of it being misused. While the government, on the other hand, argues that temples have been kept under the government's control for a long time, and this has curbed their rights and also the activities. Now, the government says that
have their religious places under control, but only temples have been kept under control. So the government says it's high time that the government releases all the temples out of control. Now it is estimated that around 34,543 temples will be released from the clutches of the Muzerai department if the bill comes into effect. But it remains to be seen how the Mumbai government will face this issue politically, especially the Congress party which is opposing it.
Fair enough. We will track developments on the story very, very closely. Hindu groups say that revenue generated from temples should be used for furthering their cause and not going to government coffers. How will this debate be taken forward? We'll track that story very closely. A quick break. Coming up on the other side of a short break. The Election Commission today announced that political parties in Uttar Pradesh want the upcoming assembly elections to be held on time, ensuring COVID-appropriate protocols are put in place. So the Chief Election Commissioner Sushil Chandra said voting during assembly elections will be held from 8 in the morning till 6 in the evening. 11,000 booths are being added to ensure adequate social distancing. VVPAT will also be installed at all voting booths. Live webcast facilities will be available around 1 lakh voting booths to ensure transparency in the election process. He also announced that all officials on poll duty will be fully vaccinated. Now, amidst the fears of a massive Omicron spike across the country, for the first time, COVID patients will be able to cast their ballot from their home. ECO officials will go to their homes to log their vote. Now, to encourage participation of women in polls, 800 polling booths are being set up only for women.
सभी राजनीतिक दलों के प्रतिनिधियों ने ये हम लोगों को बताया कि कोविड प्रोटोकॉल का पालन करते हुए समय पर चुनाव होने चाहिए। तो सबसे प्रथम सभी दलों ने विदाउट एनी डिफरेंस ऑफ ओपिनियन सभी ने कहा कि कोविड को ध्यान में रखते हुए समय पर चुनाव कराए जाएं। कुछ दलों के प्रतिनिधियों ने दिन के समय बिना कोविड नियमों का पालन किए हुए चुनावी रैलियों के प्रति अपनी चिंता जाहिर की। साथ ही रैली की संख्याओं रैलियों की संख्या को नियंत्रित करने की भी मांग की। कोविड की दृष्टिगत भी जो सभी चीजें आवश्यक हैं वो हर पोलिंग बूथ पर होंगी। हमारा हर पोलिंग बूथ कोविड कंप्लायंट बिहेवियर के साथ वर्क करेगा। सभी डीओस को निर्देश दिए गए हैं और लोगों ने सामग्री जितनी भी है, जैसे थर्मल स्कैनर हैं, मास्क हैं, सैनिटाइजर्स हैं, दे हैव ऑलरेडी बीन अंडर द प्रोसेस ऑफ प्रोक्योरमेंट एंड ईच एंड एवरी वोटर who comes to the polling stations will be provided these facilities also, and इन लोगों के social distancing का भी पूरा ध्यान रखा जाएगा।
I have explained to you, and Dr. Shri Love Agarwal ji has explained to you the framework of responsibilities of the people, expectations of all of us, from all of us, for ensuring suppression of chains of transmission as well as protection. That applies to all of us. In regard to the specific issue of elections, as we communicated last time, this is for the Honorable Election Commission it is in the domain of the Honorable Election Commission, and this is not the forum to take up that issue at this point.
Omicron cases and election rallies are both on the rise in this poll season, even as curbs are being reintroduced in multiple states. Aam Aadmi Party convener and Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal, who imposed a yellow alert in the national capital 2 days ago, is in campaign mode in Chandigarh. Arvind Kejriwal led the Aam Aadmi Party's Vijay Yatra in Chandigarh to celebrate the Aam Aadmi Party's win in the municipal elections. Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee has refused to call off the Ganga Sagar Mela held at the banks of the Sagar Dweep. Mamata Banerjee said when there were no curbs imposed during the Kumbh Mela during the second wave, why must Ganga Sagar be asked to cancel the events for pilgrims? As election fever grips India, the threat of Omicron spike also looms large, with more number of campaigns being held in poll-bound states. More COVID violations and crowds without social distancing is also being reported.
They are interested for only Ganga Sagar. Ask Kumbh Mela. You don't worry for Ganga Sagar. ये हमारा नहीं है, पब्लिक का है. पब्लिक और दूर से जब आता है यूपी बिहार से हम रुकेगा. सर, किसका रुकने का बात है? हम रुकेगा. यूपी से अगर कोई आने चाहता है, बिहार से कोई आएगा, ये थोड़ा ही हमारा हाथ में है. तो जिसको मर्जी जो सोचेगा कि जाना ठीक नहीं है वो नहीं आएगा. जो सोचेगा हमारा जाना ठीक नहीं है, ठीक है, तो कभी प्रोटोकॉल मान के आएंगे. लेकिन हम इसको माना नहीं कर सकते कि ये पूरा देश का है.
And there is no end to the COVID scare in Bollywood. Now, actor and dancer Nora Fatehi has tested positive. The actor has been bedridden for the past several days. She is now under doctor's supervision, we are told. Nora Fatehi said she didn't violate any COVID protocols and urged those who came in contact should immediately get tested and declare results. Nora Fatehi took to Instagram to inform her fans about her health status. In a statement, the actor said she has reacted badly to the monstrous virus and has warned anyone to remain aware and be careful against this highly transmissible virus. But Nora Fatehi isn't the only actor to have tested positive. 4 high-risk contacts of COVID-infected actor Arjun Kapoor have also tested positive, and these include cousin Mohit Marwa and his wife Antara. Shifting focus to the big story in Jammu and Kashmir, a massive anti-terror operation in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, and a massive hit and success for the security forces. In multiple ongoing encounters, 6 armed terrorists is what Jammu and Kashmir police say. They've been neutralized, and these include 2 Pakistani Jaish-e-Mohammed terrorists and 4 local terrorists. Now, 3 were killed in an encounter in Kulgam. The 3 other Jaish-e-Mohammed terrorists were killed in separate encounters in Anantnag. 1 security force personnel also lost his life. He was killed in action. 3 others were injured, and a large amount of arms and ammunition have been recovered, according to the police. Kulgam police, along with the army and the Central Reserve Police Force, mounted multiple operations. Initially, there were cordon and search operations, and then there were seek and neutralize operations. The terrorists fired when they were directed to surrender and the forces retaliated. Search operations are still underway. Several assault rifles and other warlike stores have been recovered.
कुलगांव इनकाउंटर में जैश मोहम्मद के 3 टेररिस्ट मारे गए, जिसमें एक पाकिस्तानी मिलिटेंट है और 2 लोकल टेररिस्ट है। उसके पास से 2 AK-47, एक M4 राइफल मिला है। ये कोई कोलेटरल डैमेज नहीं हुआ। दूसरा इनकाउंटर जो अनंतनाग में हुआ था, डोरू एरिया में, उसमें इनिशियली फायरिंग में एक टेररिस्ट मारा गया और आर्मी के 3 जवान और एक JK पुलिस के जवान जख्मी हो गए। बाद में चारों को BB कैंट लाया गया। रात में एक मार्टीरम को प्राप्त किए आर्मी के जवान, बाकी तीनों स्टेबल है, शहीद वहाँ है। और इनकाउंटर को रात में कुछ देर के लिए बंद कर दिया गया। अर्ली मॉर्निंग में इनकाउंटर फिर शुरू हो गया और उसमें बाकी 2 टेररिस्ट मारे गए।